Okay. Well, hello, Ms. Saunders. Thank
Hello.
you for coming in and agreeing to
Mhm.
meet with me. We've been working on increasing our data
Mhm.
in first grade, increasing MAP, just increasing the way that students learn and how they are taught. So
Mhm.
we've done our fishbone for first grade, and remember we talked about just some of the things that we need to make sure that we're doing as
Right.
fidelity of
Mhm.
instructional practices. Um, and so talking about preparation, talking about protocols being used. So there's just information that I wanted to share with you.
Mhm.
There are 8 things that I know that we can do
Mhm.
in instruction that will help, that will definitely help students learn, and we
Mhm.
can assure their success. Now, there are 8, but I wanted to point out some things that you're already doing.
Okay.
So I'm going to read the 8. The first one is using learning targets. The second one is checking for understanding. The third one is employing total participation techniques. The fourth one is fostering a culture of grappling. We talked about that.
Mhm.
Fifth one is using questions to promote, not just assess, but student learning. 6 is engaging students with protocols. 7 is deepening student discourse. And 8 is co-constructing anchor charts with students. Um, the first one I want to highlight for you is co-constructing those anchor charts with students. And definitely when I've come in there to observe, the students know exactly where to look.
Mhm.
They are able to refer to the anchor charts that are already up. And so you can tell and you know that they have created them with you. So it's definitely helps add to students' knowledge. It's relevant for them. It's easily accessible. So I applaud you for that. Also, we talked about before fostering a culture of grappling.
Mhm.
And I think you are really doing well moving your students along, preparing them for second grade. Because I remember at first we talked about productive struggle is
Yes.
good.
Yes.
And I think that you are really working with them on doing that. I know you just kind of
More
feeling,
independence.
yes,
Yeah.
more independence, and it shows during
Mhm.
their observations. Is there any other one of these that you think that you're doing well in?
I like the anchor chart one too, especially with our ML learners.
Mm-hmm.
It's another visual and an aid for them because even if they might struggle a little bit, they know what to at least look at and know
Mm-hmm.
that there's something there that they can use to help in their assessments or
Yes.
anything like that. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that visual has really helped,
Mm-hmm.
especially those kids that are especially new.
Mm-hmm.
So I've enjoyed having that for
Yes.
them because it's an extra, not a crutch or anything, but just something that they know they can go back and
Mm-hmm.
look at so they don't feel like lost and they can still have that independence of,
Mm-hmm.
oh, let me look here and then write down and stuff like that.
Okay. And I do think that you utilize those appropriately in the classroom. One thing that I did want to talk to you about or
Hmm.
focus on um, is engaging students with protocols. I
Okay.
know that you have tried a lot of protocols
Hmm.
in EL, and most of them have gone well.
Hmm.
But I think consistency is the key to keep
Yes.
trying them over and over. So we know, and just looking at this, protocols in a curriculum, especially our EL curriculum, are one of the key ways students are engaged. They can use inquiry, critical thinking, and sophisticated
Hmm.
communication. So again, you do utilize those protocols in your classroom every time it's in the lesson, just being consistent with
Yeah.
it. And I know the first time they tried one of them, you were like, well, they didn't,
The
but it's
giving the
okay.
feedback one,
Yes,
yes. And
yes.
they've definitely gotten better. And I think when we had not a training,
Mm-hmm.
she said the same thing. It's like, and I can tell the difference, even though it might not be perfect, there's at least more independence with it
Mm-hmm.
now
Mm-hmm.
than the first time when you saw it, because that was actually the first time implementing, and it
Yes.
definitely, I feel like it's okay for me to struggle too, because I'm like, oh gosh. And
Yes,
then
it
it's
is.
gotten easier and easier and easier.
Well, I'm glad that you feel that it's okay for
Hmm.
you to struggle because it is. And here at Indian Trail, like we don't want to for teachers to think that they know it all. We are definitely here
Hmm.
for the support. In my emerging leaders class, they told us that if a teacher fails, that that's partly on me. So I
Hmm.
want to be here to support you in any way that I can. So even we know that those protocols are a great way for students to learn.
Hmm.
And just pushing those and practice speaking and listening skills. And again, we know that that's something that's going to follow them
Hmm.
to second grade and
Yes.
beyond. Okay. And then, so the other one that I wanted to highlight for you and just make sure that we are focusing on is deepening that student discourse
Okay.
and just having them like it's okay for them to disagree.
Mhm.
Okay, but then having to back up. And of course, we can use this in reading as well as math. But I wanted to read what it says. It says, perhaps the best measure of an effective classroom is the quality of student conversation, with the teacher modeling, I do, you do, we do, okay, conversation cues, those sentence frames,
Mhm.
being consistent with the use of academic vocabulary, and a commitment by the teacher to draw out and to celebrate student ideas. Students can learn to have a powerful analytical conversations at all grade
Mhm.
levels. So, excuse me. So, just thinking about asking them, you are doing a good job, not just asking questions that are yes and no. So,
Mhm.
with this, we want to dig deeper with our questions, thinking about those higher level order questions,
Mhm.
so that you're able to bring out, can you provide evidence for that?
Okay.
And helping them to think critically about what they are doing, and it helps them with their student voice. And
Yes.
then we know when it does that, it helps their oral processing skills, definitely for our ECE
Right.
and our ML students. It deepens their learning. All right, but it also just helps them to have that discussion
Okay.
in the classroom. So they're learning from you, but then they're learning from each other as
Right.
well. Okay.
I agree.
Well, I appreciate you listening to, talking about our feedback today. What did you think about that? What do you think about the discourse?
I think it's good. I think it's definitely good because I know when I've taught second before, and then when I've subbed in third, I start to see that transition of you have to back up what you find. Like, why did you say that? Not just
Mm-hmm.
saying, because I feel like the little sometimes will be like, for example, like, why do you think we've been talking about birds nests? Why should the bird nest stay up? Because I like birds, and that's not enough. Being able to go
Exactly.
back when the story had talked about how
Mm-hmm.
birds are losing their homes,
Mm-hmm.
so because of us knocking down trees, so they're able trying to teach them to go back and
Mm-hmm.
find that evidence because I've seen it when I taught second grade, and then when I've gone upstairs to
Mm-hmm.
cover it, they're having to do that and
Mm-hmm.
provide evidence. So I think that will help now,
Mm-hmm.
so it smoothens that transition when they get up to the older grades.
Perfect.
So I agree.
Especially since you are looping
Yes.
with these kids. I'm so excited about that. You're looping with them. And so we're going to keep on working on these 8 ways for
Okay.
high level instructional practices. And I mean, again, I think I like what you've done. Continue to do that. And then we're going to bring in some more.
Okay,
All right.
perfect. Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so much.
much.
Thank you.